Well, all right, everybody. Here we go again for another daily live stream called Astronomy Daily Live.
Well, all right, everybody. Here we
Uh,
go again for another
did it
daily
again.
live stream called Astronomy Daily Live.
Well,
Well, all right, everybody. Here.
There we go. Sorry about that. Sometimes I remember to knock that out, and sometimes I don't. But luckily, those kinds of things happen right at the beginning of the stream, and then it's solved. So no problem at all. So hey, everybody, welcome. Come on in. Come on in. We're gonna talk astronomy for a little while here. What uh, uh, this is what I'm trying to do each and every day. Doesn't always happen every single day. I missed a few days in the past several months, but for the most part, you know, I lead a pretty simple life. So there's not a lot of go. It's a lot of just sit here, chill, sort of enjoy things. Um, and this is really fun to be able to meet up each and every day, same time, same place, and just think and talk about a topic that I think we all have a common passion for. So let's see. I'm looking at the chat. Okay, everything looks good. So in the panel once again is Bobby. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, nothing much. Oh, we're trying to get that feedback again.
A little bit of feedback. Okay.
Yeah, you're fiddling with the cable again.
Yeah. This this audio setup is definitely not ideal. So I'm gonna see if I can work something else out with this because
Next time you go to Walmart, get some more like this. They're about $20 and it's USB too.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. The only thing that I don't exactly want is I don't want to have a microphone that sort of picks up any of the reverb of the room or a lot of the background sounds. So if it can deliver that, I'm pretty much sold. That's sort of why I moved to this because it's very localized. It's very local, and I mean, I've got to get like right down onto the mic in order to really.
I know how much did Tim Robinson pay for his microphone that he used for his live streams.
I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to investigate that a little bit more. This is a slowly, hopefully upwards evolving live stream. Always trying to get better and better in terms of delivery and in terms of quality and all of that. And hey, I will fully admit I'm just well taking my time with that and yeah, just letting it sort of naturally, organically evolve. So when the need arises or when the occasion pops up to be able to improve, then I certainly will. So for the moment, I will be extremely careful with the mic arrangement here and make sure that there isn't any feedback or other weird noises or anything like that. But yeah, please let me know if excuse me, if those kinds of things happen. So we are gathering together here in our virtual circle of friends, sort of like sitting on a back porch. It has an awning, and the sun is setting, and it's
and
getting
probably a mosquito net too.
maybe a mosquito net if you need one. Yeah. We we have mosquitoes here too, but I'll bet you it's nothing. It's nothing like what you folks have down there in Louisiana, man. I'll bet you've got you know uh, dinosaur-sized mosquitoes down there, yeah.
Well, you can say something like that, but it's going to get worse if they reported a pool positive for less now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's part of living in the universe is you know uh, things want to get you all the time. So yeah, you just got to be careful. And I think we humans are
Now, are
hopefully.
you actually allergic to DEET?
Um, I don't think that I am, but I try very 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 hard not to spray or put any weird things on my skin. I sort of worry about how much is being absorbed, right, and going right into the bloodstream, and it's like I don't want that stuff in there. So I mean, here, yeah, we have mosquitoes, but mm, it's not a major problem or anything. I think we have I think I think we have West Nile also. Pretty sure. So, you know, maybe I should be a little bit more concerned than what I am, but I'm not. So here we go. Cheers, friends. We've got some coffee here, and we've got some hydrogen
And I'm going to tell you, you're
hydroxide.
going to watch that cable on the microphone.
Oh, is it going off
Yeah,
again?
you just had to make a brief feedback.
Yeah. Okay. I'll have to keep my movements to a minimum. So cheers, hydrogen hydroxide tonight. Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Yeah, exceptional batch today. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so hope everybody's doing well. You know, um, the news in astronomy never ever ever seems to stop. There's always just new stuff coming up. You
And
know,
at least we got one in the chat, Tom.
cool. Tom is here in the chat. Nice. Nice to see you there in the chat, Tom. Hope everything is well. Everything's good here. Uh, the remnants of Hurricane Rosa uh, sort of blasted through yesterday and last night here.
Now, we was not supposed to have rain all throughout the week as well. We got back to differ.
Oh yeah, did you get some rain?
Pretty much.
Yeah, we it
Oh,
cleared out
did I
here.
tell you about one time about my... I did tell you yesterday about my weather station being out of commission due to a lightning strike, and now they just got it back online.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I was just wondering.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, good. So it's back on, huh?
Yeah, it's online right now.
Sweet. Sweet. Nice. Yeah, that's we definitely do not like lightning strikes on the antennas. That makes for a bad day. For sure. For sure. All right, well cool. All is definitely well here. You know, I wanted to or I noticed something and uh, I don't know if I would categorize this as sort of a little bit of a complaint or a gripe, or if it's sort of like there's something wrong. I'm not quite sure. I was looking at this paper today, and I will share my screen. I was looking at this paper. this one. So this paper is listed in the latest archive.org listing, right? This paper just came out today, right? And, you know, nothing necessarily extremely interesting, but, you know, sometimes when I read through these things, something catches my eye, right? And this time, what caught my eye was this last sentence in the abstract, right? It says the entire database is available at blah, 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 and in machine readable format in this article. So I look at that and I'm like, oh, cool. You know, they have all their data, right? Right there. So that's extremely awesome. But then I read on a little bit and it says, you know, and in machine readable format in this article. And I don't know what that means.
Yeah, what is a machine readable format?
In this article. I don't know what that really means. So I searched a little bit through this paper, you know, to see if there was like, you know, any more information. And
Oh, you're fondling with the cable again.
oh, sorry. So
Now you're
come
gone.
down here. Is it good now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, thank you. So here's section 4.1, right? It says online database, right? And it says, right, we've established here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so we can really see this, right? So we've established a website to host this database online. We make the database open to the public and keep it up to date. More flux rope events with longer duration and at higher latitude locations will be added in the near future. Okay, so figure 4 is a snapshot of the whole of the home page of the small scale magnetic flux rope database website. Okay, and here's their snapshot. Right, there's their snapshot. So let's go over to that site. And so I'm at fluxrope.info, and here it is. Okay, here it is. So if you compare, okay, this is a snapshot. So I guess, look, this is from 2017, July 29th, 2017. All right, so that's like over a year ago. Okay. Let's see. So now, does it even say? Yeah. Website last updated September 19th, 2018. So the time between these two snapshots is, you know, over a year. Right? So, okay. All right. That's fine. But here's where it starts getting confusing, right? So when clicking on any year on the event lists table, the event list page will show up. The full table is available in machine readable format. Okay? Now, if I click on any year on the event list, okay, so let's do that. Here's the event lists, and somehow, you know, I don't think that this paper is talking about it, but somewhere there are like two different kinds of event lists now, right? There's a wind event list and an ACE event list. And I guess those have to do with spacecraft, right? I mean, I'm sort of looking at it now, and it's like, here's the wind spacecraft, and here's the ACE spacecraft. So 2 different spacecraft. I don't know what the parameters are. I don't know what they're doing exactly. This particular paper keeps talking about wind. Where is it? I think this is just wind, if I remember right. Let's can we confirm that somewhere? Yeah. First results from the wind spacecraft measurements. So this has got wind, and it also has ACE. Okay. So that's cool. Okay, there's that. Right? So it says to sorry. It says to let's go back down. Okay, so it says to click on any year in the event list. Okay, well, let's do that. Do you have a favorite year, Bobby?
Can we just do random.org?
Oh, let's not go to that extent. Let's just go right in the middle. Here's 2006. Bam. Okay, so here's a list of small-scale flux rope events, right, that happened in 2006. Okay, so it says, I'm clicking on any year, you get an annual event list page. So then it says that the event list page lists every detected flux rope event in 1 year. Basic characteristics, right? And I guess this is where it starts getting a little bit confusing, because I'm looking for this, right? The full table is available in machine readable format, right? Which means some kind of electronic format. Full table, right? The full table. Well, look, if I click on any of these events, right? I'll just choose a random one, right? I'll go in the middle again and just choose that one, right? We don't get data. We get plots. I mean, these are like JPEG images. So this doesn't, I mean, if I were interested in this data, wanting to use it for some kind of research or something else, this is not machine readable, right? This is a plot with some dots and some lines on it, but there's no machine readable.
Yeah, it would have been great if they had CSV format.
Yeah, where is it? Where is it? You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I click on these and nothing happens because they aren't links. They are JPEG images of the data, right? I mean, I'm absolutely certain that this is the data, but it's not. It's definitely not in any kind of machine readable format, right? And there are no
Yeah,
other.
that's kind of a bit messed up. They don't have such a thing like that. I think like what you should have done is do a CSV or an Excel spreadsheet, and you should be fine.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, and I've talked about this a couple times when
I mean,
uh,
if there's any way you could email the authors,
yeah, you know, that's always a possibility. So, uh, but like I was going to say, I mean, these papers, um, by the time they are published, right? By the time that we put our eyes on them for the first time, it very, very well could have been, you know, weeks or months since these authors actually finished it, right? You know, because you finish a paper, you submit it to a journal, and then it goes through this process, right? and um, that process can take months, right? So yeah, you know they obviously wrote this. It looks like a while ago, and they haven't really, uh, I mean, my guess is that at the time of the writing of this paper, um, access to the data was different. And in the meantime, after they finished the paper, they they changed things around a little bit on the website, and they didn't change what they were saying in the paper. So anyway, it's I mean, this is sort of just a gripe or a comment or an observation,
So what?
and
So what happened? Those referees took a long time of this paper, right?
possible, yeah. I mean, it could have gone back and forth a few times. It's hard to know, right? I mean, it's hard to know, uh, but there's an obvious, big.
Yeah, because if you're not going to hear anything from the Westboro Superior because wow, at least try to like revise it or something.
Yeah,
Now, can
because
you do that during the process? Revise the paper before it got approved or so?
yeah, that's probably a little bit hard. So, I mean, I think anything is possible, but yeah, I just, um, like I said, I'm not particularly interested in the subject matter, although it is interesting, that astronomy is using this term flux rope a lot more recently, uh, which is sort of an interesting term. But wasn't particularly that interested in the subject matter itself. As I said, the only reason why it caught my eye at all is because it looked like at first that here was another um, resource of maybe some pretty interesting data, but as far as I can tell, right? Um, you've got a little bit of information here, but this is not in a machine readable format, right? This is just an HTML page, right? And these links, right? I mean, all of
Now,
them.
no, I still want to know what is machine readable format. Is that like text files,
Yeah,
Excel?
yeah, right. Like a CSV file or a text file or a JSON file.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I would rant about that too.
yeah, yeah. I just, I mean, I sort of get excited about these kinds of things, and then I'm presented with this, which I mean, yeah, okay, it's interesting. I'd have to look at it a little bit to really understand what I'm seeing here. That's all fine and dandy, but I don't have access to any of the data here, and I would like to. So yeah.
Just imagine if Jizz was watching this right now. I think he'll definitely, and it's more than astronomy. I think he would definitely rant about it.
Yeah. Well, it's just an observation I've I've made. I was a little bit disappointed that access to the data wasn't actually there. So yeah, it's just one of those things, and yeah, contacting the author, um, yeah, that can be done, sure, for sure. Whoop, I'm going to stop sharing momentarily. There we go. So yeah, it's an interesting paper anyway because and I'm not exactly sure um, where on the sun they're actually looking for these small scale flux ropes. but they have figured out some way to automatically detect them, and they found like several tens of thousands of them, and it's like cool. That's very, very cool. So cheers to flux ropes. All right. Well,
Nothing much in the chat.
what's
We
that?
might have a silent. We might have a silent chat this today.
A satellite chat?
A silent chat.
Oh, a silent chat. Oh, there's nobody in the chat except for Tom. Is Tom still there?
Huh? You ever know?
Nope. As far as I can tell, there's no participants in the chat whatsoever. That's a little strange. That's a little strange. All right. Well, whatever. You know, this live stream is
Tom's still here.
good. Good. Thanks, Tom.
No, you should join us in the panel.
Anytime you want to, Tom, you are more than welcome. You just got to send me an email, cosmiclettuce@gmail.com, and I will I'll send you the Hangout link. So that's actually where I would really like to go. I think with this live stream is to try to get a bigger panel, and we can go, you know, in any direction we want. Then, and I sort of like that idea.
Rael.
Hey there, Rael. Nice to see you again in the chat. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. So yeah, that's.
At least we are getting some activity, but we need more people.
Yeah. Well, you know, sometimes there are quite a few, and sometimes, you know, there's just a couple, and that is perfectly fine. Like I said, you know, this live stream, you know, participating in the live stream is probably best. But if you want to catch this later, that is, you know, perfectly valid as well. So yeah, either way. So yeah, I'm, you know, when the participant count or the viewers are low, I'm thinking about all those people in the future that are going to see it, and so I'm talking to you out there in the future. So yeah, but yeah, you know, I
love like the way how Rael called me Double B.
Double B. Yeah, I like that too. Very cool. But yeah, you know, I think I would, you know, I've been thinking about this a little bit, and I think having a larger panel, I think that would be, you know, much more like, you know, sitting out on a virtual porch and chit chatting about things. Because I mean, look, I am more than happy to sit here and talk all, you know, for as long as anybody wants, right? Because when it comes to astronomy, I mean, there really is no limit, and I'm enthusiastic enough that yeah, I mean, I think it's great. So, but having a panel would add some great dimensions, and you know, take the focus off of the host a little bit, and put the focus more on, you know, topics and you know, the subject of astronomy and, you know, science, which is why I think we're all here, you know, to share that common passion. So cheers.
No, I think there are also music CDs too, where those discs on the wall.
Old AOL discs. Yeah. Well, no, they aren't. They aren't. I you know, I had my CD collection um, in those books, the flip books where the each page has a bunch of sleeves in them, and you put the CD in them, and then it's like a big book, right? And had one of those for years and years and years, and I had a frustration because I even if they were in some kind of order, right? You still have to flip through them, and it's like, yeah, it was just a major pain. So when we moved here, I saw these blank walls, right? And it's like, you know what? I'm gonna I'm gonna deal with two problems at the same time. I'm going to decorate my wall, and I'm going to be able to see every single CD that I have pretty much simultaneously, right? So I don't necessarily have to, page through things. I still sort of have to search for things, but but uh, um, but at least they're all just sort of there. Now, the problem that I've run into, and the only way to solve this is actually to find some more wall space. A number of these behind me, and I've also got some over on this wall. Which you see that one a little bit over here, yeah. And then I've got more over here.
How many CDs do you really have?
I I don't know. I mean, it's not very many. I mean, really, it's not that many. I mean, it'd be easy to find
And I
out.
think you take good care of them too, right?
Well, they just hang on the wall. So uh, yeah, because
You
they're
don't have
in.
a CD changer on your truck?
No, nope,
Hey.
no. I am generally sort of a low tech dude. So yeah, I don't have a lot of toys. I'm not into toys. Not really, not really. Anyway, so the problem that I have though now is that many of these behind me, and most of the ones over on this wall are stacked, right? So there's like two or three on each nail, um, and so yeah, I need to make more room.
Did
Now,
you get a new vehicle?
what's that?
Did you have a new car or
I
something?
I did get a new car. Yeah, I got it.
Man, maybe you should post a photo of that on Discord.
Yeah, I could. I could. It needs a little bit of work. I got it, and it it was such a rockin' deal. It's like, okay, I think I can fix all these other things. So it's actually in the shop right now. So, but yeah, as soon as it is working and all that, it's just a regular old, boring boring car. There's nothing too exciting about. I don't I don't get too excited about cars and trucks or anything like that. As long as they work, right? That's all I care about. I don't care what they look like. I don't care. Yeah, they just have to work, right? I've got to be able to
Yeah,
turn it on.
and right now, once you get a big jukebox that takes CDs, you can put them all in there.
Yeah, yeah. That sounds pretty organized, though. I don't know if I could handle that level of uh, um, organized. Yeah, I don't know. I like the plus plus. I mean, this is sort of like a decoration on the wall too. So if I move all of those, I'm just gonna have a blank wall up there. Suppose I can put my um artwork up, but yeah, I'll have to think about
My
that.
cousin used to have like a 10 disc, or I think it's either a 10 or a 5 disc CDs changer stereo.
Hmm.
And I think that was pretty darn good. I just have a 3 disc CD changer stereo.
Huh. Yeah, I think actually in this new car that I've got, it does have a CD player, but I think it's just a single one. In fact, in fact, this car has a cassette tape player in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was pretty impressed with that. When I saw that, it's like sold, man. I want that one. So yeah, I've still got I still have cassettes. I don't have a lot of them left, but I do have a
Well,
few.
know something on the pre-show. I told you like about you should afford like a streaming media device for your TV.
Yeah.
Have you ever got yourself your SDR yet?
Haven't done that yet. We're actually sort of putting that on hold because, like I mentioned, the we have a spectrum analyzer, and that actually does, in a certain sense, it does better for us than an SDR would. The
But
only
you will still get an SDR though, right?
I think eventually, yeah, I think I will, just for myself. So yeah, but I don't have any
Now,
current
now, what is
plans.
going to be your purpose for using an SDR? You said for a radio strongly, where you're doing like 80 in the HF, BHF, UHF, or something like that, or just radio strongly?
Well, yeah, the reason why I was looking at the SDR was actually because um, uh, a device that me and um, my boss are working on that um, is uh, is going to be made available to the radio community, and we need to be able to test it, right? Being able to test it with devices that radio folks are going to be using is sort of a thing that we want to do. So yeah, the SDR is definitely still in the running, but we've sort of put that in back of some other things. We're trying to get into production now, and actually create a
So eventually, it's not in the short term, but in the long term, right?
yeah, I mean, weeks or months, I would say, um, something like that. So yeah.
Now,
But
instead of like also getting one for work, how about you like to get one for on your own in your house with a nice decent antenna?
yeah, I think I probably will eventually. So, like I said, it's one of those things that for me isn't a huge priority. So it's definitely on the list of things to do, but there's a lot of things on that list. So who knows? Who knows? All right. Well, hey, I wanted to just for a little while here. I wanted to get back to the paper that we were looking at yesterday. Um, and I'm going to check out the chat again. Okay, very good. Um, and that was this paper that was talking about, and I'm going to share my screen here. And we're going to do this in parts because this is a pretty involved paper. But as you recall, it's this one. So they're trying to um, simulate observations of white dwarf stars, or white dwarfs as they call them, using the Large Synoptic Survey Telescope, the LSST, which is still being built, right? So they're having to simulate all of these things, and they're trying to figure out if they're going to be able to detect transiting planets going around white dwarfs. Um, and from yesterday, right, we learned that so far, 1,000, about 1,100 white dwarfs have been observed, and none of them, right? None of them have um, shown any sign of transiting planets, despite the fact that it would almost be more likely to see them around white dwarfs because of the size of a white dwarf, right? The size of a white dwarf is about the size of the Earth. So any planet that is orbiting that white dwarf, um, might be larger than the white dwarf itself, and as a result, uh, you know, when there is a transit, all the light from that white dwarf would vanish, right? And I think they were saying something like they they thought that the length of a transit would be like 2 minutes long, um, which is relatively short, but not insane, right? So that's sort of where we were there. Um, the next section of the paper talks about how they actually create these light curves, right? So I mean, they're going to be uh, um, simulating watching the brightness of white dwarf stars, right? So
When is
taking
that new telescope special go up Axis Ray L?
uh, let me see.
I don't know what telescope he's talking about.
Rael, are you talking about maybe the James Webb Space Telescope, JWST? Um, that's
Because if
sort
it's
of
JWXT, what do we want? JWXT to be launched. When do we want it? Now.
well, I don't want it now. I want it when it's going to work. Because yeah, I mean, they're putting JWST at L2 at the Lagrange point 2, which is something like 1,000,000 miles from Earth. Okay, yeah, JWST. Um, and so when they deploy this thing and launch this thing, right, send it out to L2, right, we have no access to it, right? It's too far. We have, as far as I know, we have no spacecraft, to get there. So when it gets to that point, right, it has to completely deploy flawlessly, right? No problems at all. If there's any kind of problem, then it's um, most likely either not going to work at all, or it's going to be extremely limited, and that's going to suck, right? That's going to be awful. So my attitude is, um, you know, yes, let's do JWST. Let's launch the sucker, right? Let's get him out there, but you better make sure that it is going to fully deploy. And the interesting thing that I think Tony Darnell over at and here uh, I'm gonna do this since we went off on a little bit of a tangent there, which I thoroughly enjoy. Um, I think it was Tony Darnell over on Deep Astronomy. Somebody, a guest of his, was saying that there needs to be at least a 70% confidence level that uh, you know whatever they're launching is going to work. So the fact that they aren't launching it now means that they aren't at least 70% confident. But wow, 70%. So that means, right, when when they do launch JWST, they there will be a 30% chance that it'll fail, and that to me seems wow, that's a hard one to accept. But my guess is that that's probably about as good as they can do, right? Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would have to look and see what all the parameters there are, in sort of, you know, being able to measure that confidence level, because that's a hard one. That's a hard one. So um, under under the current circumstances and under the current conditions, launching JWST right now would be a disaster, right? I mean, they'd launch it, and I'm assuming the launch is going to go okay, right? I mean, there's not going to be uh, any kind of catastrophic event at launch, right? It'll get out there, right? It'll get into orbit. It'll, you know, very very likely get to L2, but then there's only a 70% chance that it's going to deploy, and wow, that seems a little. I don't know. That's I'd sure like.
So right now they still got the bells and whistles to not make it 70%, right?
Yeah, well, what they have to do, right, and what they're doing now is they're testing, to see if they can raise their confidence level to at least 70%, right? I mean, wow, I would like to see it be, like 99%. I guess that's not going to happen, but yeah, wow.
If you can make it to about 90 or 100, you should be all right, right?
Yeah, but I mean, they were saying, right?
70%, there could be still be a lot of problems with 70%.
Oh, absolutely, of course. Now, I mean, I think the Hubble Space Telescope was launched with those same kinds of confidence levels, right? And look what happened there. I mean, we were lucky in that it was sort of built.
And look like what the Hubble did as compared to like any other spacecraft and stuff. I think Hubble did themselves a great job.
Well, after it was fixed. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I mean, and that's just it. With JWST, we're not going to have that option, right? It's going to be way out there, and it's going to be non-serviceable, right? At least in the I mean, in any reasonable amount of time.
So how far is going to be the James Webb as compared to the Hubble that's out there now?
I think James Webb is supposed to be placed, as I said, at the L2 point, which I think is about a million kilometers away from Earth. It's pretty far. It's pretty far. Uh,
So eventually, if they deploy it and then it's going to be like an epic failure, you just got yourself an epic failure, right?
yeah, and that's just it. I mean, people are going to look at that and say, okay, well, we're just
So
looking,
if they can make it to 70, great. But if they can make it to about 100%, then you might have a better chance.
absolutely, yeah. I think I mean, anything above 70 is better, right? So I mean, yeah, I'd like to.
What would you think? Where the confidence level should be at?
I think it should be at least 90%, at least. But I mean, these systems are complicated. Maybe that isn't a reachable thing. Don't know. Don't know.
Can you specify the L2 orbits?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I can do that. It's probably easiest just to show a diagram. So let's do that. We can show a diagram of all the Lagrange points or Lagrange points. Let's do that. So there's my flux rope pictures, which is a real bummer. But let's do Lagrange points. Let's see. Probably any of these will do. Let's do Wikipedia. They usually have a pretty good diagram here. Okay. So this is not to scale, right? Not to scale. This is just showing sort of the relative positions. So here's the sun, here's the earth, right? So there are five locations um, relative to the earth and the sun where the um, sort of the gravitational pull between these two objects is more or less the same. So there's sort of it's sort of like a gravitational null point, right, where there really isn't any pull um, or push um, one way or another,
Okay.
right?
There will be many telescopes at the Hubble, but Hubble will always be the one that throws up with some amazing discoveries, says Way Out. And what's the difference between Earth Moon ring and Sun Earth ring?
Yeah, and there is a difference. So this is just what I'm going to show you here um, is for Earth Sun, but the same exact thing goes for any two body system, right? So Earth Moon is going to have um, pretty much exactly the same thing. The positions of these are going to be different depending on the relative masses of the two objects. But for Earth Sun, right? Um, um, there's the L1 point, which is between the Earth and the Sun. There's L2, which is on the exact opposite side of the Earth. There's L3, which is on the other side of the Sun, way over here. And then there's L4 and L5. So they want to put JWST at L2 out out here. And like I said, I think that's about 1,000,000 miles. We can here's L2. Let's see, does it say? Okay, this is just all right. Well, we'd have to let's see if we can oh, here. Sun Earth, solar system values, spacecraft at Sun Earth. Let's see what this is first. So let's see, L1 suited. So L2 is a good spot for space-based observations. It doesn't say how far away it is, though. Um, hmm. Yeah, it's not saying how far away it is. But as you can see, there are some spacecraft out there, actually, including wind. Cool.
So
Um,
what's your better bet? Like Sun Earth, or what's your better? What's like Earth Moon or some other planet?
well, it depends on the application. I think for JWST, yeah, um, L2 is a perfect place.
L2 with the Sun Earth, right?
Correct. Yeah, yeah. Let's see if we can. I'm really
Combat scare 155 million kilometers or something.
There we go. Yeah, yeah, I'm seeing that now. Lagrange point, L2 distance. There we go. So, yeah, I guess approximately 1.5 million kilometers. So about a million miles. So, yeah, I mean, too far, right? I mean, HST is in orbit around the Earth. One could sort of say low Earth orbit. 570 kilometers isn't exactly low Earth orbit, but it's yeah, I mean, it's still pretty low, and it was sort of built to be serviced. As far as I know, currently, um, the JWST is not being built to be serviced either. So it's like, we've got one chance, right? One chance
Like,
um, to make this go, and so
like I said, do it right, or you will cause an epic failure.
yeah, you've got to do it right, and I guess what the criteria there for being right is being at least 70% confident. So, whew, yeah, that's a low number, but as I said, maybe that's as good as they can get, right? Otherwise, it would never launch, right? And I
Uh,
mean,
so below 70, you could just say ballot, right?
yeah, well, below 70, you're saying nope, we're not going to launch yet. So, however long that takes, that's okay. That's all right. Um, I guess, as I also said before, um, my attitude is that JWST, yes, let's get it up there, let's do it and stuff. But I I think being an astronomer and wanting to have telescope time, right? I would like to have an HST, right? Um, if there were
And,
10,
Uncle Bill has a point about it. If you just say L2, what L2 are you talking about?
true, true, very, very, very true. I will take heed of that warning and make sure that yeah, when we talk about Lagrange
So,
points, we also
so if
specify.
it does two launch, it's going to be like more of a Sun Earth L2, right?
Uh, for JWST, correct. That's Sun Earth L2. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, you know, I'm looking at the time and I'm sort of thinking that maybe it's time to get on out of here. Um, Wanted to talk a little bit more about transiting planets around white dwarfs, but let's put that off for another day. I would much rather, you know, sit here and talk about what the group wants to talk about rather than always what I want to talk about. Because I mean, I'm more than happy to do that. But you know, this is a gathering of friends, and I'm just the host, right? I don't necessarily command any kind of authority in terms of, okay, we're going to talk about this and this and this and this and this. We can talk about whatever anybody wants, as long as we you know try to keep it know within the scope um, of doing astronomy and science, that kind of stuff. So, all right, well, cool. Yeah, I think it is 3 hours UTC, so it's been a good hour, and so I'm thinking. And Bobby's yawning, so hey, I mean, game over. So yeah, I think on that note, I think I'm gonna get out of here for now. I definitely want to talk about these transiting planets going around white dwarfs. So maybe I'll try to slip that in over the next few days because it's a pretty interesting paper, and it's actually I think this kind of a format where I sort of spread out um, looking at a paper over the course of a few days. I think that might work out pretty well. I'm going to experiment a little bit, as I say.
For,
Um, you know, this live stream, I'm always trying to make better uh, all the time, and so I've got to experiment with things. I got to try stuff, and so the two things I'm sort of looking at now, right, is spending more time on a particular topic, right? So I've started doing that a little bit with object of the day and constellation of the day. I've sort of spread that out into a number of days instead, so we can really sort of very very casually um, dive a little deeper into these things and you know get an understanding, get an appreciation for whatever it is. And so I sort of want to start doing that with these papers too. That'll help me because then I won't feel rushed to have to try to you know um, um, get through a completely brand new paper to me in less than an hour. It's just it's not fair to us, and it's not really fair to the authors that have put in countless hours, right? Days, weeks, years of work go into these papers, and for us to sort of um, brush through them in an hour, it's like I think we need more time with that. Yeah, I think we need more time. So yeah, trying out new things, and like I said, if anybody does want to be on the panel, send me an email, cosmiclettuce@gmail.com. And when I start the hangout here, I'll send you a link. We sort of have a little bit of a pre show, which, I mean, isn't really much of anything. It's just, setting up. Um, setting up things here and chit chatting a little bit before the show. Sometimes there's a post show, usually not. We sort of just it's like okay, bye. um, but yeah, having sort of a pre and post live stream might be interesting too. Because then we don't necessarily have to just do astronomical things. We can talk about whatever. So yeah, cool. I like how this is evolving. So with that, everybody, I'm going to get out of here for now. So take care. Have a great evening, a great day. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Spread the word. Spread the word. You know, uh, this live stream is meant for everyone, right? So people who are completely new to astronomy, you are extremely welcome, and you can ask questions here. You can you know um, whatever you want to do, right? If you're more advanced, then you know you're welcome too. Absolutely, right? And if you're a pro, right, come on in. I definitely like to hear about um, um, the work you're doing, and what kind of challenges you're facing, what kind of instruments do you use, all of that, right? So yeah, I think that'll be really really fun. Look forward to the future, and with that, I am definitely going to get out of here. So take care, everybody. I will see you in just a little tiny bit less than 23 hours from now. Just one, almost one spin around. All right. Take care, everybody. I will see you later. Bye.